Hey everybody, this is Loli Jane, Animal Communicator and Energy Healer from animals-speak.com and mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. And you're listening to the Loli Jane Animal Communication Podcast, the show that promises to open your mind and heart to the amazing world of animal communication, energy healing, and what I like to call interspecies therapy. Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, I'll be sharing some amazing things that animals have shared with me. Buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a wild ride. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a certified international professional animal communicator and pranic energy healer. I offer remote and in-person animal communication, whether they are alive or in spirit. I also offer pranic healing for trauma, injuries, pain, illness, disease, and behavioral and emotional issues for both humans and animals. For the humans, I can also provide spiritual guidance by channeling your angels and guides and even do a past life regression. And if you've ever wanted to become an animal communicator, I teach animal communicator training workshops and provide one-on-one mentoring. Check out my website for workshop schedules at animals-speak.com or animals-speak.com or at mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. Now, let's get into the wild things that animals have told me. So first, I had a really insightful conversation with a female 23-year-old Sumatra tiger who shared with me. She told me, amazingly, that cats had to earn their colors and stripes, much like military rankings. She and other cats shared with me what the different color means. So each color of the fur represents a different type of service. So basically, black cats are protective, much like black crystals are, and black cats are not bad luck when they come across your path. They are greatly helping you by taking the evil away and blocking it from you when they cross your path. So the thing about black cats being bad luck, that's a complete myth, false. And then white cats are from the angelic realm. And many of the white cats will work on healing humans and others. And then orange cats are protective, kind of like black cats, but they have a much stronger expelling energies. And actually, I do pranic healing, and in pranic healing, orange is an expelling color, so that's pretty amazing. And then they shared about multicolored cats have the highest rank of the domestics. So of the domestic cats, the highest is a multicolored and very, very powerful. And in fact, even in modern times, Japanese sailing vessels will have multicolored cats on board for protection. They're pretty amazing. And then she also shared with me that the cats actually have to go through 9 lives, which is where the 9 lives things comes from, before you can become a big cat. So basically, you have to be a domestic cat for 9 lives and go through all those cycles, and then you can be a big cat. And of course, she was very proud as a tiger to say it takes many years of being a domestic cat before you can be awarded tiger stripes. That the diagonal stripes, especially on a big cat, can cross dimensions. She said that she's able to leap great distances, and by distances, she meant in other dimensions. And she told me that her sole purpose was to be a guardian of the spirit world, which is amazing. She said that, yes, we do dimensional shift work when we are laying down with our eyes closed, but it's not a nap, it's a journey. How's that for a great quote? So the next one is a 10-year-old female flame-tipped Siamese cat. And the human was actually a minister for the Church of Divine Science. So this amazing cat declared to me that she was not a regular cat, that she heals people using her crystal blue eyes to beam at people like two laser beams. And that she also had an injury. She had a deformed right paw from an accident. And when I asked her if she was still in pain from the prior accident, she said, no, it's my magical paw. Then she told me that her and her human both have really big auras and really big crown chakras. And she was sent to help her human at this time to assist bringing in the matrix energy for fulfilling the prophecy. I asked her what her job and sole purpose was, and she said she is a bringer of light, that she works together on the energetic field with her human. And she shared with me a few past lives that she had had as a white horse and an Egyptian cat. And she shared that she was not from the material plane, but a distant traveler from Andromeda. And I started Googling Andromeda and cats, and she stopped me while I was Googling, and she said, what's the matter? You don't trust me? And as crazy as this all sounds, the client confirmed like everything 100%. The cat had told me that the human was very spiritual, that they would meditate together, and the human told me, the client told me that sometimes she would look over to the cat and she would see the laser beams coming out of her eyes, so she could see energy too. It's amazing, what they both shared with me. So the next one is a dog. So I had a client's dog that told me crazy explicit details about a past life as the king of Prussia, and gave me historical details. In fact, gave me all the details, the names of the families, the surnames, the genealogy, all the wars fought, so on and so on and so on. So much factual information. Then I Googled it after I was done with the session. And I kid you not, it was historically and factually 100% accurate. I could not believe it. This was an amazing case. I was still an early animal communicator learning my craft. And I had this case, and it really changed everything for me, everything I thought. The dog said that he was the king of Prussia and his current human was the queen. And the client was amazed and told me that her family was not only from Prussia, but she said that her entire life she's been called queen because everybody said she acted like a queen. So at the end of the session, I asked the dog why they chose to come back as a dog after being the king of Prussia. And he replied, because I chose the lesson of humbleness. I said, well, you chose the right body. Amazing, amazing story. So the next one I have is a racehorse. I talked to a 7-year-old female racehorse who was almost blind, completely blind, due to glaucoma and other vision problems. And even though, of course, I had my own opinions about this, I try to remain completely neutral when I talk to animals because I want to hear what they have to say. So I just completely shut my own opinion about this. And I asked the horse about her vision problems and if she wanted to continue racing, expecting her to say no. And to my surprise, she eagerly replied and she said, yes, I do. I want to continue. It's exhilarating. I very much enjoy it. It's fun and it's active. We are meant to run and I like winning the race. She said, I like winning. So she also told me some stuff that could help that could be provided by her human. So she told me she wanted a bridle, a different bridle, and some extra padding and stuff. But that one blew my mind too, because who would expect that a blind horse wants to continue racing, right? So the next one is another cat. I talked to a cat that was being relocated to Hawaii because his family spent a lot of time there. They didn't want to leave the cat behind constantly and leave it with a caretaker. So I told him his family wanted to spend more time with him and he'd be moving to a beautiful tropical island. I had to explain to him what an island was, what a beach was, everything. So I explained in detail how he would get there. So I was trying to convey, I told him that he would be moving far away and couldn't be taken by a car because it was too far, and he would have to go in an airplane. And of course, he asked me what that was, and I explained to him that it flies up in the air like a bird. And he asked me, will I need my wings? And I replied, no, wings are provided. So I absolutely loved what he had to say. It was pretty amazing. The next one is a rescued wild Mustang. So I work with Wild Heart Sanctuary, and they're in Park City, Utah, and they rescue wild Mustangs. She does amazing work. So this was a male stallion, and I asked him what his position was in the herd. Even though I knew, I asked him anyway because I wanted to hear what he had to say. And he told me he was the lead stallion, but he did not want to play this role anymore. He said, I need a break and train someone else. And he showed me images of the specific horses that he thought were worthy of the lead stallion role. And I gave all this information to the client. I've actually talked to almost the entire herd. It's called an infinity herd because it's 8. And I've communicated with almost every horse. And so I know them really well. They're really amazing horses. So he also shared some other amazing thing with me, which is the power of the circle, the shape of a circle. He said, there's a power in the coming together in a circle with all the horses lining up so they can share unity consciousness. He said, when they line up in this way, it makes them much more succinct and powerful. And the client confirmed that the horses stand in a circle every single day. Wow. The next one is a story from an orangutan. So I talked to a male orangutan in his late 30s at the time from the zoo. And I've talked to this same orangutan like many, many times. I know him really well. So he shared with me that he wanted to be acknowledged for his mind and his intelligence level. He said the humans need to fully understand what we animals are all about and who we really are, not some idea of a stupid, dumb animal that can't think or communicate. And he said we are very evolved. He shared with me, I'm very intelligent. I think abstractly and almost scientifically. And those words came out of his mouth, telepathically, of course. The keeper said that he's really smart. He paints, he draws, and he started to even learn sign language. And the orangutan told me he was frustrated just because he didn't like to be shown off like an exhibit, like he was an exhibit. He wanted people to see another side of him. He wanted them to share something with the people so that they know he could talk, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm about to finish a book, and his story is going to be in the book. So be sure to get my book when it comes out. He said, he was talking about his bond with his original keeper. And he said, we share some private moments. And I think she can really see me, the real me, into my soul. She knows me best and knows I'm more capable than any others give me credit for. So that was from this amazing male orangutan in the Honolulu Zoo. So my next story and my final story is from a dog. And I talked to this 10-year-old male Rottweiler mix. And I asked the dog if there was anything that only you and your person know about, like any secrets between them. And he sent me images of these thin rice papers given to him. And I wasn't sure what the heck he meant by this. And so I asked him what the image meant for further clarification. And he said he would share secrets and messages together with his humans. And I didn't know what to make of this, and I was kind of embarrassed to read it back to the client because I had no clue. And they burst out laughing, and they said, That was rolling papers. They said we used to live in Northern California and we would grow pot on a ranch, and those were rolling papers that the dog thought were being given to him. It's like a play toy or something. That brings us to the end of this great episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode, hearing all the incredible stories that the animals had to share with me. Book your animal communication session now, or check out my upcoming workshops and classes on animal communication and mind, body, and spirit. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, as well as opening your mind, heart, and spirit to your deep connection with your beloved animals. For more information, please visit my website at animals-speak.com, Loli Jane animalcommunication.com, or mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. And join us next week for episode 42 on why animals leave home and what you can do about it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe, like, and rate us. And as always, love and gratitude for listening to the Loli Jane Animal Communication and Healing Podcast. This is Loli Jane. This podcast was created, produced, recorded, researched, and edited by Loli Jane, and is a product of Loli Jane Animal Communication and Healing.